Greetings to you, everyone. My name is Tichaona Mungazi, and I'm the SHE coordinator at ESH.africa. And I would like to welcome you to our ESH launch webinar series. And this is episode 12 of all our sessions. And I'm the one who's going to facilitate this session. So welcome everyone, and thank you for joining us today. And I would like to hear what you would have to share also on the subjects that will be discussed here today. So without taking much of our time, our program today is structured as follows. We are going to start with a spotlight entitled The Future of Safety. And I am the one who's going to present on that. Then after that discussion, we'll then dive into our main topic, main discussion entitled Coaching for Safety. And we have a guest presenter for that all the way from Malaysia. That is Mr. Ahmed El Biali. And then towards the end, we'll make a few announcements of our what's ahead. Then as usual, we'll conclude with our group photo. So without taking much of our time, I would just like to highlight a few housekeeping rules that will keep our session flow smoothly. So whenever you are not talking or whenever you are not contributing, make sure that you mute your mic so that you avoid any background disruptions. And also it's optional to turn your video on. Then for any comments, for any questions, for any contributions, you may also make use of the chat section. We always refer to that during the session. Then for the guest presenter to note you, or for the guest presenter to notice that you want to say something, you may also make use of the reaction buttons. Okay, everyone, let's all sit back and relax and enjoy the session today. So like I said, I am the one who is going to take you through the spotlight today. So a few weeks ago, when I was actually researching on which topic should I present today, I then stumbled upon a GET presentation by one of the big names in the industry, Mr. Kevin Benz. And from that presentation, I managed to get a few points, and that is what I'm going to share with us today. So our spotlight is titled The Future of Safety. So the world we are living today has been evolving, and technologically we have seen so many things changes, but that has not been the issue with the safety industry. We have been lagging behind. Most of our programs that have been used are traditional, and the idea that was put in initially was to use rules, procedures, and define processes so as to set minimum standards for safety, which was mainly designed to protect employees. And also these traditional approaches, compliance to these was good and necessary, but the problem with compliance is that it doesn't build a positive safety culture. So today I'm going to highlight some of the few things that we need to change in our approaches in as far as safety is concerned, so that we catch up with the future. Most of the people are defining the world, the time we are living now as the future, and it is also defined as just the beginning. More is to come. So the safety industry doesn't have to be left behind. It has to move with technology. So those are some of the things I'm going to highlight today. But before we move into those things, I would like to pose a question, which is one of the big questions for most of our ESH and SHE practitioners. And the question is, are you playing to win in the approaches that you are implementing in your workplaces? Are you playing to win, or you are playing to lose? So I'll expand more on this. It's something that I've seen in most industries, that most safety programs that are being implemented, they are just looking at avoiding incidents. They are mainly focusing on lagging indicators. So you find out that whenever there is a loophole, an incident is inevitable to happen. And so that is the main issue that we have. That's why we are mainly looking at our key performance indicators in as far as safety is concerned is about incidence rates, it's about lost time. But when we are talking, so we are saying when we are playing to not to lose, it's about just surviving. You are just a meter away from failure, or a point away from failure. But when you are talking about playing to win, that's when you are looking at exceeding and excelling. And with safety, with reference to safety, that's when we are talking about looking at the leading indicators, being proactive, where we are now focusing on continuously improving our safety inspections, where we are now looking at continuously improving our housekeeping programs, our audits at the workplace as a way of managing safety. So, like I said, we have been using traditional approaches in our safety management programs. So I would like to highlight a few points of what we can implement so that we catch up with the future. So the first thing is to being proactive. Like I said, when you're playing not to lose, you are only looking at lagging indicators. You are looking at events that have already happened. That's what we are using to measure our safety performance at workplaces. But we really need to be proactive to react before things happen. So that's one of the pointers. And also another point is to begin with the end in mind. It's more the same way. We are safety is mainly focusing on failure, on incidents, on accidents, but we are actually saying we really need to look on safety success, on good things, on leading indicators. And also we need to think win-win. And also another point is to seek first to understand, then to be understood. As chief practitioners, we are in most organizations, we are mainly a link between management and the employees, the link between employers and the employees. So at most times, we then tend to choose the management side when circumstances rises. But we are saying as a chief practitioner, you have to seek to first understand, then to be understood. So if you want the employees to buy in safety, you have to hear what are their perceptions, what they think about safety, and also you have to hear what the management thinks about safety. Then you look how you can work things out so that there will be collaboration between those two entities. And signage is another good point that can be implemented, where you create a platform where management, employees, supervisors can share information, can share knowledge, can share incidences, can share opinions in as far as safety is concerned. That way it give everyone the freedom to own safety and to champion safety. And also, like we do with the PDCA cycle, we have to sharpen the saw. There is need for continuous improvement of all these things that I've been discussing. And to add more, safety shouldn't be more about rules, regulations, procedures, or standards. It shouldn't be more about compliance, but it should drive for commitment, where people will take safety as a choice, not because they have to. And another issue that have been lacking in our industries is that safety had been looking on the physical aspect, especially with reference to the human being. But we really need to take a holistic approach, where we look at a human being as a whole, the human being as a psychological aspect. We have got biological aspects, we have got spiritual aspects. All of those things are usually overlooked at the workplaces. It's very rare to find a workplace where there are programs on psychosocial risk, where there are programs on mental health, awarenesses, sexual harassment. All those things, they're actually lacking in most of the workplace industries in safety programs. So we really need to take a holistic approach when we are approaching safety issues. And also because of this, it will make people to feel safety, not to be something that they really have to do. So we have to create a climate where people feel safety, not just tolerate safety rules as a condition of work. And like I said, when I was talking about signages and seeking first to understand, everyone should be part of the safety conversation. No one should be left out. And I think these are the things that will help us drive safety and catch up with the future. And some of the best approaches that can be implemented, one of those is HR involvement. With HR involvement, I highlighted that when approaching safety, you have to take the human being, we have to take the holistic approach. So usually HR are the ones who deals with the human resource of the human capital, and they are the ones who usually look at the psychological issues. So if we work together with the HR, we can then move on to give programs such as mental health awareness, such as psychosocial risk awarenesses, because you are evolving HR people who have more the know-how of managing some of those things. And another thing is to encourage people to think for themselves. Safety is not really a new thing to everyone. We all grew up knowing that there are certain risks, there are certain precautions that have to be taken when doing certain things. So it's not something that you have to have a certificate for you to know it. So in my opinion, I think everyone knows everything about safety. But when we now take the compliance approach in the workplace, we are just forcing people to comply. We are just forcing people to tolerate rules as a condition of work. But so another approach is to really encourage people to think for themselves, leave room for autonomy so that people will self-govern for themselves, so that people will own safety and will take safety by choice. And also hiring, engagement, management, and safety should really be entwined. Like I said, with HR involvement, you have to involve HR from hiring up to the management of employees, and also promote a relationship between work safety and home safety. People usually draw a thin line between these two, but what we do at home tends to affect what we do at work. So, and also there's an old saying that says charity begins at home. So there should be a link between these two entities, work safety and home safety. And if that link is there, you find out that people then tend to own safety, don't just comply, they will be committed to it. So the main objective is to drive ownership of safety and more than compliance. In that way, we can catch up with the future. And what we are trying to drive it, I'll just highlight it. I won't say much, is explained by the Bradley curve. And what we are looking at is mainly on this last part, where now people are working as teams, but they are independent, and there is interdependence because they are in teams, and people are now helping each other. People care for one another. That's where coaching for safety will come, and we are going to hear more about that from our main presentation. And it also creates organizational pride. So with at this stage, people no longer take zero harm or zero incidents as a harass. They'll take it as a choice. And this is where we are saying we will be proactive in terms of our safety approach, and our injury or incident rate will be very low. And that's what I had to present to you guys. And before I close in and give the opportunity to our floor, I would just like to conclude by saying the future of safety should promote a climate where employees buy in safety as a way of life, not tolerating safety rules as a condition of employment. So the key word is to take safety as a way of life, not just tolerating it as a condition of employment. Ladies and gentlemen, that's what I had to share with us today. I'll open up this opportunity for questions, comments, and discussions. from our audience. Is there anyone else with a comment, discuss, or any questions in regards to this subject that I was presenting today? Okay, let me check. Is anyone? You are free to share your opinions, or if there is anyone who is already living in the future, in as far as safety is concerned, you can come up and share how you have been doing it on the ground and which approaches you have been taking. The floor is open to everyone. Okay. So I guess everyone has not been in the future yet. We are lagging behind. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's what I had to share with us today. Without taking much of our time, let us jump into our main presentation. So thank you all for listening, and thank you all for taking your time with us.